This is a video I thought I wouldn't be making for quite some time. I had always intended to make a thank you video when I reached 1000 subscribers, but that moment came and went so fast I didn't even have a chance to honor it. I went to bed one evening with 493 subscribers and woke up the next morning with another 700, so the 1000 subscriber milestone passed over me while I was asleep. My subscriber count continued to rise by a couple of hundred for the next few days, and the last week has been a bit of a blur. So here I am now, at just over 2000 subscribers, thanks to a generous mention by the anarchist YouTuber ThoughtSlime, whose subscribers came and absolutely love-bombed my channel at his request. Do visit his channel and give it your support. I've left a link in the video description. Over the last few days, I've taken some time to assess my channel, its content, and my future plans for it, and I'd like to share those thoughts with you. From the start, my channel has been focused on countering disinformation, especially long-standing myths and false narratives in popular culture, social media, and even in academic literature. However, I've also always been intent on presenting accurate information from a leftist perspective and addressing leftist concerns. From day one, the About section of my channel has been explicit about my personal ideology and personal stance on a number of key issues. My self-description in the About section says that I am a Christian anarchist who believes in complete separation of church and state. I also state that anthropogenic global warming is real. I am in favor of Christian ecology stewardship. I am pro-recycling, pro-renewables, pro-nuclear, and anti-fossil fuels. This is reflected even in my earliest content. One of my earliest videos, uploaded in August 2019, is the first in a series demonstrating that the science of anthropogenic global warming has been understood since the 19th century. In December 2019, I uploaded a video expressing my distaste for Boris Johnson and the Tory party, in contrast with my more favourable view of Jeremy Corbyn and the Labour Party, and ridiculing Boris Johnson's new cabinet. In the same month, I also uploaded a video making fun of the anti-feminism of right-wing white nationalist YouTuber Sargon of Akkad, whose real name is Carl Benjamin. From January to March 2020, I uploaded 3 videos on Indigenous gender and sexuality, and a video explaining various forms of anarchism, contrasting them with other ideologies. From that time on, I started including more explicitly leftist videos in my content, including a video on fidget spinners as an example of anxiety, consumerism, and capitalist co-option in April, a video on 32 black leftist YouTubers in May, a video on racism and the coronavirus in June, and the video on successful indigenous Christian anarchism in Taiwan in September, which was promoted by ThoughtSlime in November. Future plans. Going forward, these are my plans for the channel. First of all, I'm changing the channel name. I've noticed comments on some of my videos expressing appreciation for their, quote, good faith analysis and approach, end quote, mature and amiable tone, end quote, and, quote, non-polemical critique, end quote, particularly when my videos are responding to other creators. Good faith interaction with other creators, especially those whose content I am critiquing, is extremely important to me. On the left, there's quite a wide range of approaches to interaction with others, and one of the most commonly seen and popular is the edgy, aggressive style known as the dirtbag left. While I fully understand the utility of this approach, it's just not my style. It's important to me that my critiques are always in good faith, representing the opposing view accurately and in its strongest form, the so-called steelman approach. Consequently, I'm changing the name of the channel slightly to Veritas et Caritas, which means truth and charity, or if you like, truth and love. This not only expresses the channel's core values, but it's euphonious and it's easily contracted to VEC or VEC if someone wants to refer to this channel by a convenient contraction. Secondly, while I will be making more videos on general subjects, though from a leftist perspective, I'll also be making more explicitly leftist content. At any given point in time, I'm typically working on 5 or 6 scripts simultaneously, either researching and writing or both, and at present, I'm preparing these videos. 1. Successful Indigenous Christian Anarchism in Taiwan. This will be the counterpart to my previous video on this subject. This is currently my most requested and anticipated video, so I'm making it my priority. I've been waiting on a professional translation of an interview with a couple of the community's elders, and I've just recently received that, so now I'm able to integrate it into the script. Speaking of the script, it's already about 20 pages long, so the next video will be considerably longer than the first, probably close to an hour. The Amnesia Rebirth Conspiracy. This will be a long-form video on a strange conspiracy theory concerning Amnesia Rebirth, the latest video game from Swedish independent video game developer Frictional Games. This story has elements of Gamergate and is directly related to leftist concerns over that particular aspect of the culture wars. The Outright Pipeline, Who and How. This will be a long-form video analyzing the so-called Outright Pipeline, identifying key channels responsible for radicalizing people to the right, and the way in which people enter the pipeline at various starting points, but all end up at more or less the same place. This will include recommendations for leftist resources which can help divert people away from that pipeline. Anarchism 101. This will be a series of short-form videos on anarchism, introducing people to basic anarchist concepts which are commonly a cause for confusion, such as the anarchist definition of hierarchy, whether anarchists should obey the laws of the state, and why anarchists want to abolish the state in the first place. Anarchism in Praxis. This will be a series of short-form videos explaining how anarchists and other leftists can contribute effectively to our goals in their local community, despite the constraints of the state. This will basically be a commentary on my own experiences of how I've sought to achieve Christian anarchist aims through my teaching work, as well as through my volunteer work with orphanages, a shelter for disenfranchised immigrants and people with HIV or AIDS, and in the local indigenous community. Aboriginal Australians. This will be a series of short to long form videos on a range of issues concerning Aboriginal Australians. Generally speaking, the Australian left seems highly underrepresented on YouTube, and I've hardly found any really detailed Australian leftist content on Aboriginal Australians, so I hope to make up for this. Other content. I was surprised and delighted by the highly positive responses to my video on Christian anarchism in Taiwan, not only from fellow Christians, including a few Christian anarchists, but also from secular socialists, communists, and anarchists. With 1,500 likes, this is far and away my most popular video ever. While I will continue to occasionally address religious matters from a leftist perspective on this channel, I've started a new channel, Radical Reformation Christianity, specifically for leftist Christians, as well as for Christians and non-Christians interested in the positive and negative interaction between Christianity and leftism throughout history. The channel is a combination of Christian theology and praxis from a leftist perspective, and the most popular video at present is a 45-minute introduction to Christian anarchism. One of the aims of this channel is to bring more Christians to the left, as well as fostering goodwill with secular leftists. In terms of my other content, less explicitly leftist, I will also be completing my response to Home Team history on the significance of the Ishango and Lubombo bones, my series on Indigenous gender and sexuality, my series on the historical fabrication of Bushido, and my series correcting misinformation about the Islamic Golden Age. Final thoughts and thanks. I'd like to really thank my first two backers on Patreon, Dusty Bob and The Boots Are On. To date, I haven't spent any time actually promoting my Patreon page, mainly because I didn't want to do so until my channel had a distinctly recognizable character and until I had built up a reasonable amount of content. Additionally, I'm really not that good at figuring out what people would want as rewards, so what you see on my Patreon page is largely based on what I know I can provide. If you choose to take a look, feel free to send me a message with a suggestion for alternative rewards. One point I will make about Patreon rewards is that I cannot bring myself to place any of my content behind a paywall. As a Christian anarchist and an information professional who was once a librarian, including some work experience in public libraries, I am fundamentally opposed to information inequality, so I would rather offer rewards providing bonus content than place any of my work behind a financial barrier. Any bonus content produced through the sponsorship of a patron, such as a 5 or 20-minute video on a subject specifically requested by a patron, will be made publicly available to everyone, patrons and non-patrons alike. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for your support.